Hi, I'm Vivian, and I'll be giving you a quick walkthrough of the Agora app that I built with my teammates at the Hacking Arts Hackathon in 2018 with my teammates. So, put in short, Agora is a platform that democratizes public art by allowing people to create and view large scale artworks using AR. So, start with a splash screen, and we immediately enter this camera app. And the reason that I positioned this camera this way as a start screen is because one of the four major user needs I identified was that people need to be viewing and seeing as much art as they can. And since all of these works exist in virtual space, you really can't see anything um, if it's not on the camera. And I wanted to remove all the barriers to this action. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the toolbox and how I designed it. And that's really pretty integral to how this whole screen is made, right? So the shutter button is here, a very conventional place to have it, and then a profile button and a flash toggle. And this kind of setup is really intuitive for most people, so I wanted to preserve it. And that leaves only the top of the screen to be really freed and not, you can't really confuse it with anything else. So I put the toolbox here, and it's kind of like a drawer. So you slide down and you can see all these tools that allow you to create stuff in this virtual space. And there's only 6 things here, but ideally there would be around 20. This is just for the demo's sake. So to close it, similarly, just slide up and it's gone. Um, and if you want to see a demo of how these tools would work with a phone, look at the bottom of this page. We actually were able to build a prototype for it as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is the heat map, which fulfills another user need that I identified, which is people need to be able to find where these works are located. So don't want people just pointing their cameras everywhere, not finding anything. So to access this map, like many existing apps, you just pinch in with the zoom out motion, and we come to this heat map. So it shows your location, and it's pretty self-explanatory. But the reason that we chose a heat map rather than specific data points is because I wanted to preserve that aspect of viewing public art, that discovery aspect where you find something un, unexpectedly. It's really a beautiful thing. So to get out of this, pretty simply just press the back button and we come back to this camera screen. And say we see this piece of art that we find, and maybe you want to save it, maybe you want to take a picture of it. And this leads me to talking about the profile section. So if you tap on this, it would show that it slides to the right, or you can just slide right directly on the screen to access the profile. So it goes like this. This is how the profile looks like. It's pretty intentionally very reduced. So there's only an icon, a handle, and a blurb that you write for yourself. My works are the things that you've added and created. Saved are the things that you've saved. And photos are the things that you kind of take with the shutter button that's in the center of the screen. So say I want to look at this work that I added, and just click on it or tap on it on the screen, touch screen, and you get this rendition of this work in its original space. And by moving your phone around, you're able to view it in 3D space. Again, really reduced, really self-explanatory. You can only do 3 things to it. You can like it, report it, or save it. And there's just a blurb that you write for it, and a date and a location. So the like really just is a way to have a popularity metric. And let's say we click back to go back to the profile. We're going to close it by sliding it back again. And say we find this clump of art on the same space. And that's one of the largest questions that people had for us. What are you going to do if everybody wants to make something in the same place? So to address this problem, this is the mechanism that I designed. So first, just tap on the clump, and you have the selection wheel on that allows you to pick the metric that you want to sort these works in. So say I want to sort it by popularity, how many likes they got. So I can just select popularity, And then it kind of shows up in this simple reel where very subtle arrows are laid on top of them, and you can just click through all of these works one by one. And say I want to interact with this work some more. This action is going to be press and hold on a piece of work, and you get these two menu options. So you can either choose to mute this work if it, say, like really offends you, you just don't want to see it, or you can view details. So you click that, and then we come to this screen that we already saw earlier, where you can report, like, save, etc. And if we click back, it just goes back to the original screen where you found it. So this is pretty much it for how I designed this structure. And if you want to look some more on our justifications on why we need Agora, or how do we come about coming up with this structure, please look at the rest of the webpage. I also explain why I chose these specific interactions for this interface. And there are also some really cool mockups that my teammates made that might better help you visualize the service. Thank you so much for watching.